Hey folks, this is Ken McArthur, best-selling author of Impact, How to Get Noticed, Motivate Millions, and Make a Difference in a Noisy World. And this is the Impact Master Panel with our special panelists, Larry Steinhouse of Investor Schooling, Frank Garon, and Dan Tbone Jones of Conversion Chemistry. Guys, tell us a little bit about you on the panel. Go for it, Larry.
Oh, me? You want me to talk about me? I don't like to talk about myself.
No.
What are you trying to say, Dan?
Pinocchio's nose is growing big.
All right, the microphone's too close now. All right, I'm Larry Steinhouse. I own the largest brick-and-mortar financial education center in the East Coast. And I have a great time teaching people how to make money, teaching people how to build their business, and teaching people how to have fun. Nah, that's Dan's thing. Dan likes to teach people how to have fun.
That's Fred Pasimo's thing.
I know, that really.
Make money, have fun. All right, and Frank Garon.
Hello, everybody. Frank Garon here, formerly bankrupt truck driver who went on to make multiple six-figure incomes online over the past 26 years, and I am co-owner of ConversionChemistry.com with my esteemed colleague and dear business partner, Dan Tbone Jones.
Now, why T-Bone, you ask? Said nobody. T-Bone is named after my dog, and it's the name of my first LLC. Okay, and the reason that I stuck with it is because my name is literally Dan Jones. It's the most basic, like, middle-class white boy name that ever existed.
How do you spell that? Is that with the X?
Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
Could have been Tom, or it could have been
It could have been anything.
John, or
It could have been anything.
Yeah.
So what I'm the entrepreneur solutionist. I'm in some ways an amalgamation of you guys in that I like to teach people marketing. I was never a bankrupt truck driver, but I did have a series of failures in my early career, which led me to go, I should do marketing. So that's where I'm at now. We teach people marketing, and if you don't want to be taught, I run a marketing agency that does it for you.
Awesome. This is a great week. We've got the Impact event coming up this week. And if you folks don't know about it, it's people from all over this country and from out of this country all coming together to create impact. So if you want to make a difference in the world, and I believe that we all make a difference whether we want to or not, that's a great place to be this weekend. Larry's going to be up on the stage, and we're going to have Frank there, and we're going to have Dan there. We're going to do hot seats live at the event, so that's one of the exciting things that we're doing at the event. And that's kind of where this program came from, was the hot seats that we did at both our Impact event and also on the one-day intensive masterminds that we do. And by the way, we are doing a one-day intensive mastermind on Tuesday after the Impact event. So it's kind of like a recap of everything that you've learned. You get a day to recover and then come back and distill everything and get ready to run with your ideas, because there's so many things that you can learn if you come to a live event. And I know that all the people in this room have been touched by live events, but I'd like to hear a little bit of the stories. I know, Frank, you used to run live events. Tell us a little bit about what you did and what the impact was on the people that came to those events.
Well, I kind of accidentally fell into doing them because after my divorce, I said, how can I go to England for free? Because I have friends over there.
That's cool.
And I said, you know what, I'll run a workshop over there. And the first time I ran the workshop, I told people, bring me whatever your favorite football team is over there. Bring me a T-shirt or sweatshirt. That's your price of admission. Drinks are on me, And I had such a good time. I was like, geez, I could actually charge for this. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, we had people like Stephen Pierce over there, Greg Caesar, Onyx Singal came over. I did about 10 of them, from small boardroom, 20 or 30 people, to upwards of just under 1,000. It was like 900 and something people. And I loved it. I love it over there. And the thing that I liked the best was actually seeing the light bulb click on for people, like instead of just staying at home and not networking or not getting their questions answered in real time, just to have people come out and say, hey, Frank, hey, Annik, hey, Steven, hey, whoever, what about this or that, And I always made a point of we would go out to dinner, speakers and attendees. Obviously not with 900 of them, but as long as it was 50 or under. I had a really nice Italian restaurant in Kensington over in London, and they would accommodate this big boardroom table. We'd have everybody sit and break bread so you could speak to the speakers afterwards. Yeah. And I like that too, because there's nothing wrong with taking the speakers out to dinner and treating them, you know, like the honored guests that they are, because they're doing it on their own time. They're paying to get there and everything. But I don't know. I always thought that if you were there speaking, you should be there mixing too. That's just me, Ken.
Yeah, it's me too. There's so many people we've met over the years at events, and as a matter of fact, the Impact event started out with a little meeting that Frank and I did for lunch. So we got together for lunch with Mike Mers and with man, now the names are slipping my brain.
Who else came?
It was
Mike Phil Same. Did he come to that first one?
no, it was Stompernet. I got
Andy?
Andy Jenkins.
God
was
rest
there.
his soul.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
man.
Yeah. So all we did was we got together for lunch and we just talked because I wanted to get out of my basement. I don't know about you, but a lot of the folks out there I know feel like their spouses, their friends don't have any idea what the heck they're doing, and you just need a common person to talk to that actually has experienced some of the things you've experienced. And we had a great time at that lunch, and I actually wanted to get together with people because I had multiple sites in the top 3,000 sites on the internet. I'd been having lots and lots of success, but I didn't really get to hang out with anybody that knew what I was doing. So I emailed my list and I said, hey, anybody want to get together for lunch? And over 30 people responded that they wanted to get together for lunch. And Frank, a good friend of ours, actually was flying in from, Frank Sousa was flying in from Spokane, Washington, just to be at lunch. And we decided we should do it a little bit bigger, and we did a networking dinner before, and we did a little breakfast on the day after, a bunch of hot seats, and that was the first Chavy Alert event that I ever did. Out of that came all kinds of success stories. Sterling Valentine and I met, Frank Sousa and I, and we plotted the next morning to take over the world, and we've been doing events for 20 plus years since. So it's pretty amazing what you can do just by getting people together. The biggest thing that I've ever done in my life as far as impact goes is just to bring a few quality people together. And I know Larry does that all the time at Investor School.
I have to, why don't we tell people what the show is about and why we're here talking to each other, and how our guests didn't show up, and how if they want to, they could be a guest right now, but they got to respond quickly.
We could tell them that.
Yeah. So you want to do it?
It's
You
almost
want
like
me to do it? I can do it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So here's the deal, folks. If you guys want to, this show is basically a hot seat show. So what we do is we put a guest on the hot seat. They have a great product that they either want to create, or a product that they are they're struggling with, and what we do is we help them with that product. Now, we had a guest who didn't show up this morning, and that's sad, but the guest can show up on Zoom. So actually, if you are listening to this show or watching this show right now, and you want to be on the show right now, just DM me, and I will give you a Zoom link, and I can bring you in via Zoom. That'll be kind of cool. We don't know what your product is. We don't know what you want to do. If you have a product and you're trying to get more eyeballs on it, we can help you with that too. But meanwhile, we're going to continue our discussion. Also, if you're online via LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, you can actually leave us messages. You could comment, and we'll be able to see your comments, or we'll respond to your comments. In fact, if you're watching, we would appreciate it if you could just leave us a message right now, so we know you are watching. All right. So where are we now?
I was going to ask you about events and how they've impacted your life.
So probably the most interesting event that's ever impacted my life was a Ken McArthur event. I went to one of your events, right?
Awesome.
And I had just written my book, If I Won $25 Million in the Lottery, a book about money, hope, and happiness, which, as I always say, was a really good book with a really dumb title.
I like that title.
And
I wasn't
you-
going to say anything.
and you called me up and you said, "Hey, I'm having this event. You want to come?" And I said yes. And I don't know if it was that one or the next one or the next one, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I said at that event, I said I was going to create a financial education company and teach people financial education.
Yeah.
So I often say that investor schooling came from one of Ken McArthur's events.
That's awesome. And you build an incredible community of people. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who have been through investor schooling, and it really has impacted their lives in amazing
Absolutely.
ways. And people who are interested in stock option and in real estate investing really get an education. But more importantly, I think they get a community of people that can support them in their projects. And I think that's the key part of anything that you put together to bring people together. I call it the impact family because it's like a family. And I say it's like the mafia. You can get in, but you can never get out. So
Not that you would
that's kind of
want
the
to,
ways
but
I think that's a good part.
yeah. It's I like that what you said before about being in the basement and like just going stir crazy because you don't have anybody to talk business to. I love my wife, but I just don't even talk about this. Like when I'm done, I'm done.
I'm worried about you guys talking about the basement too often. I wonder what you guys are doing down there.
Well, actually, my office is a sunroom with 3 sides, all glass windows, but I still go stir crazy. It's like, as much fun as this is, I like to get out. Like today, oh my God, it's gorgeous outside today.
Yeah, it is gorgeous outside. That's why you guys were late, right?
I
That's
was
probably why
here-
our guest isn't here. They're probably out there enjoying the sun.
I was in the parking lot at 10:30. I'll have you know.
Dan, have events impacted your life?
Boy, howdy, Ken, have they? So let's take a little time travel. Even 18
journey
months
back.
right? So where I met the first of you gentlemen was at a very local business network exchange lunch,
Yeah.
which is interesting that I went there because I don't go to too many business association meetings and whatnot. Because I just find the format to be very sterile and self-serving and just not conducive to growth and creativity. It's the same format. Oh, here's your card, whatever, great. And no matter what, I'll always listen to somebody's story and, basically ask them, hey, who's your ideal client? Who can I help you out with? Because you and I are probably not going to do work together. That's fine. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to sell. Help them, whatever. I just like helping people. That's my form of advertising. Live events. All right. So we talk about getting out of the basement.
Yeah.
Frank and I have a presentation called the 10 Fatal Errors That Entrepreneurs Make When They're Starting Out and How to Overcome Them. One of them is being a hermit. That's error number 8 is being a hermit.
That's funny.
And how to mitigate that error, how to eliminate that error is get out there. Right? Simple as that.
Yeah.
Just for the mindset change. So I got to know you, Larry. I got to know you, Ken, better, and then went to my first Impact event a year ago. So we're coming on my 1-year anniversary of the Philadelphia Impact event. That's where I met the likes of people who I'm now doing joint ventures with and business with by name: Frank Garon, Joe Patterson, Gwen Guadalupe, George Bruno, Hannah the Biz Doctor, Jesse. So that's like 6 different joint ventures and businesses that came out of it, and that's just the objective production that came out of it. That's the tangible. Not to mention all of the cross-pollination of ideas and growth that came from it, and the connections and the memories made.
Yeah. One of the things that I hear so often is, I don't have time, I don't have money for these things. And, I've never wanted time or money to be the reason that people didn't get out to these things. I actually had somebody come down from Canada, sleep on a hotel lawn because he didn't have enough money for the hotel room.
That's
Now,
dedication.
I don't advise that, but there's a way. If you want to participate in an event like this, there's a way to do it. And I think that so many people that come to these events don't utilize the resources that are sitting right there in front of them. You can actually go to an event and create a product on the spot. you've got so many experts in the room and chances to grab people, and the relationships that you make are lifetime relationships.
So I put the website up on the screen. If you want to talk about it.
The website up on the screen. Where? Oh, over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 3 days, 16 hours, 14 minutes, and 41 seconds away. And by the way, if you will come, people that are listening to this show, if you will come to this event, I'm sure that some of the people in this room have guest tickets available. If you contact any of us, we'll give you a way to get into the event for absolutely free if you will promise to show up.
You know, we're out of guest tickets, but Conversion Chemistry will buy your ticket.
Oh,
Ooh,
you're out of
this is
guest.
good.
All
Look at that.
right.
Hey, Larry Steinhouse will sell you a ticket for twice the price.
I'm sure he would. Yeah. And it's worth twice the price just to hear Larry Steinhouse. But of course, that's not all of the people that are going to be at the event. We have incredible speakers like Armin Morin,
Right.
Kellen Flukiger. Scroll up that list because I'll never remember all of
can't
them.
remember who's on- you can't
There's a
remember who-
countless list.
You can't even remember who's on
Trace-
your. I can't actually. You know what's funny?
Oh,
I
you
can't
can't-
scroll.
oh, you
You
can't
know what
scroll.
happened? My computer actually just locked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
it's kind of an odd thing that it just locked up. I think because we were doing some things before.
Oh, okay.
So that's all I can do is I can only show your. The cool part is, luckily I put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all I can do is show that. I can't show anything else.
Anyway, it's a group of fantastic people. So help me remember who some of them are. Ryan Allaire's going to be there talking about direct mail stuff. Tracy Repchuk's going to be there.
Chris Noggle,
Chris Noggle's going to be
Oh, yeah,
there.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Dan Zatofsky.
Dan Zatofsky's going to be there.
I'm so glad Dan Jones knows.
Yeah, the people that are
knows
going to
the
be at
people
my
that are coming
event.
to your event.
I have this rule at my event. You know that rule, don't you? That you can't ask me anybody's name at the
Right,
event.
right. And you know, here's another thing. If you go to Ken's event, I'm going to tell you what to do. If you want to be good friends with Ken, bring him a cup of coffee. Right?
Why am I only learning that now?
We used to say that for years because you can create a joint venture if you can get somebody a cup of coffee. You know, everybody thinks that they have to wait until they have all kinds of resources to do a joint venture, but
Not at all.
not at all.
That reminds me of the day I drank an entire box of Joe myself because I showed up to an investor schooling meeting.
Wait, you drank a box of what?
A box of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the when all the staff and the vendors got together probably about 6 months ago, and I didn't know that you guys internally had with the staff had somebody buys coffee on
Yeah,
Friday
right,
or whatever. So
right.
I show up with a box of Joe,
Right.
thinking, hey, doing something nice for everybody, and then
Ken-
everybody walks
Ken-
in with their own stuff. I'm
Can't
like,
drink it all.
I guess
No, you were cool.
no, I put it next to me with a big ass straw, big swirly straw, and was just sipping on it for the rest of the day. out
But
of
you
my
were cool
convertible.
because, anybody who brings us coffee and donuts is cool. Doesn't mean we're going to eat them and drink it. It
Right.
just means you're cool.
Yeah, it's a qualifier.
Well, the power of joint ventures is really, really incredible. I used to do I haven't done it for years, and I'm almost tempted to try it at this event. But I used to do a little presentation at the start of the event, which I called "Make Money Out of Thin Air."
Oh, that was my favorite.
Uh,
But everybody knows how to do it now, so it's not as
no,
good.
I don't think everybody does. I think everybody's forgotten that I used to do it.
Oh, I love that.
But
That was one of my favorites.
yeah, we'll let you guys in on the secret if you happen to show up and I happen to do it. Yeah. What I would do is I'd get up in front of the room and I'd say, would you like to see me make money out of thin air? And then everybody would say yes. And then I would say, well, does somebody have a $100 bill? And somebody would say yes. And I'd say, well, would you be willing to give me that $100 bill? I said, I would take my wallet out and I hand it to somebody in the audience and say, I have absolutely nothing to give you whatsoever. Would you be willing to give me this $100 bill? No promises. Don't expect any. I'm not giving it to charity. I'm going to stick it in my pocket. Would you give me a $100 bill? And at every single event, somebody would say, yes, I'll give you a $100 bill. And they gave me $100 bill, and I stuck it in my pocket, and I said, "That's how you make money out of thin air." And then there was this silence in the room, and it was like, ugh. Because that doesn't feel exactly right, does it? It's not, and what's missing is that there's no value exchange. There's nothing given back.
Reciprocity.
Yeah. So what I said is, I don't have anything. I gave away everything I had. So is there anybody in the room that has anything of real value that they would be willing to give this person, because they stepped up to the plate and they put their $100 on the line? And somebody would say, "Well, I got an ebook, or I got something, or I've got a physical book." And then I say, "Is there anybody in the room that has accounting skills? Can you do addition at least? Hopefully no subtraction." And we'd start tabulating exactly how much that was, $7 for this book or whatever. And then people would pile on and pile on and pile on. And in that room, typically we would get up as high as $30,000 worth of value for the $100 bill. And it's a great learning tool. Number one, that you got to trust and invest in yourself, and then number two, that the community around you has an endless supply of opportunity. If we can give one person $30,000 in a room, those 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people, that power of that coming together is worth literally millions of dollars, and I've seen it happen over and over.
I've seen it happen too. I know. I don't think I ever won it.
That's because you would try to beat everybody there, but you didn't sit close to.
I tried to sell. I tried to sell my $100 for $200.
Yeah, people used to ask me to up it, to up the price or whatever, but I didn't ever want to do that. I just wanted to prove the point. So it was an interesting exercise, though.
So since everybody listening will undoubtedly be there this weekend, since Frank and I are buying their tickets, or Larry's going to sell his ticket at twice
For
the
double.
price.
That's right. Absolutely.
Whichever you prefer.
Are you going to have time to put a spin on this parlor trick?
Huh?
Are you going to have time to put a spin on this parlor trick?
I don't know if I'll do it or not. I'm not even sure if I have time. There may be some surprises at this event. You'll never know.
Just
Really?
another reason to go.
Yeah. I've been sworn to secrecy. There may be surprises. So a lot depends on what happens with the surprises. So you should come up just for the surprises for sure, and spend time with really quality people, because.
All right, I got it working now. You want to see? You want to see the
Yeah,
guests
sure.
now?
Let's see how
Okay.
many we missed.
I know that's terrible. Hold on, I got to add it to the list here
Can I add it to the list? Huh?
somehow. All right, there we go. So we got at the bottom corner. Well, actually, I can do this too. I'll tell you what. You can actually talk about it right now. Give me 1 second here. I'm pushing all these buttons and doing all this stuff. There you go. Now it's the only thing on the screen. So here you go.
Oh, all right, and it scrolls. So it's a remarkable event. It's a
It's a
it's
remarkable.
chance.
event.
Yeah, it's a chance for you to reach your dreams, and it's April 19th through the 21st, which is
That's this weekend.
Friday.
Oh my goodness.
This weekend,
That's gonna be
3
pretty
days,
exciting.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We start. Registration starts at 8:30 in the morning, and we will go to about 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, and about 4 o'clock.
Wait a minute. I want to know one thing.
Yeah.
Why am I
On
the
Sunday.
second featured speaker? Why not? Why not the first featured speaker?
Because Armin Morin has been around a lot longer than you have.
All I know is I thought I was a closer friend than he was.
You are close. You're right. You're right there every day. So we've got Armin Morin. Armin Morin was the founder of the big seminar and is a true pioneer, country western star, and everything else that you
I
could
remember that,
possibly
yeah.
imagine. If you want to know about marketing, you definitely want to tap into him. He's just a brilliant, brilliant guy. The next guy up is Larry Steinhouse.
That's the brilliant guy.
That guy is what I claim is the number one financial expert in the United States, at least.
Yes.
Some other guy later on down the list will claim to
Yes.
be number one.
Yes.
But Larry runs investor schooling, and he is a producer of money. So if any of you want money, that's a good guy to connect with. And if we go down further, Dan Zatofsky, if you want to know about raising private capital for just about any project, Dan's the man. I mean, he's an incredible leader, incredible integrity, and I really enjoy spending time with Dan. He's got fantastic stuff to share with you. Kellen Flukiger is the guy has been dead at least 3 times and come back from it, and
That's
he comes
worth
back,
seeing alone.
he comes back
Does
better than
that
ever.
give him 6 more lives?
He's got 6 to go,
At least
evidently.
6 more lives to go. Yeah, and
Killing the cat.
he's really, really good. If you want to be held accountable and if you want to achieve big dreams, he's a big dream thinker. Chris Noggle, another financial expert, number 2 whenever Larry's in the room, but otherwise number 1. And Chris is going to be there, and I believe he'll tell you how to really maximize whatever money you have, and the money multiplier system that Chris talks about is pretty fantastic.
All right, we got anybody else?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
We got
the hits
Tracy
keep coming.
Repchuk.
Yes. Wow.
Tracy Repchuk is coming. She has done some amazing things. She's done a lot of publicity, a lot of radio and television work, and she really impacted some people in this community. I know that she was kind of the secret sauce behind Peter Bonarenko's
Nice.
business, because she came to the last Impact event. She was there and presented, and Peter and Johnny really kind of hooked on to her and got a lot of value out of what she had to offer, and took her business advice and ran with it. And they've got a whole nother school that they're setting up.
It's the Adjuster Academy is
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yes,
It's
that's
really
pretty neat,
cool.
actually.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
actually, yeah. You know, wait, I got to tell you something. You know what he did to me this weekend? Peter Bonarenko, you know what he did to me this weekend?
No, what did he do to you?
I'm so mad at him. So you guys know, of course, I went to see my buddy Trump, right, at a private event with about 300 people total. And you guys know I have the flag, American flag jacket, the one that's signed, and I put that in a box. I bought another one because whenever I go see Trump, I wear this American flag jacket. So Peter Bonarenko decided that he was going to order one and wear it also.
Ooh.
Now, this was the first time I've ever understood why women get so upset
Jealousy.
when somebody else wears the same outfit, right? Right?
Tough love.
So I yelled at him. I said, "How dare you?"
And dare I ask what his response was to all this?
But I just want to be just like you.
There you go.
Imitation's the most sincere form of
And
flattery.
I said,
right?
"You can't be just like me. You're short and fat, and I'm tall and fat."
Figures. Let's see, Richard Weiler.
Oh, we back to this now?
Yeah, Richard Weiler.
Okay.
Richard Weiler is pretty amazing. He was at one time the CEO of Guerrilla Marketing. If any of you are familiar with Guerrilla Marketing, he's done a lot of work. He did a lot of work with CEO Space, and we hooked up together and did the Advanced Marketing Minds masterminds together. It was a great time to really do some advanced marketing stuff, and you can pick his brain. That will be fantastic. Ryan Allaire is, as I mentioned before, is a direct mail wizard. You know, sometimes we forget that direct mail is a powerful, powerful tool that we can put into our arsenal, and Ryan's going to be there to tell you all about that.
Very cool. Do we have anybody else?
There are other people coming.
No way.
Whoa.
The
There are a
hits keep
few other
coming.
people that are coming. David L. Hancock, who is the founder of Morgan James Publishing.
You
is
know,
gonna be
they
there.
published my book.
They published your book.
My book called Money Hacks.
Yes, indeed.
Why, I believe that's the other way you can make money out of thin air, is by reading money hacks.
Yes,
Yeah, you
indeed.
probably could. But not by reading it, by implementing
By
it.
actually by doing it. That's a great book. Larry Steinhouse. Just look up Money Hacks. And David Hancock is the publisher of many #1 New York Times bestsellers and Wall Street Journal's bestsellers. So if you want to know anything about publishing, you should definitely pick his brain.
I can vouch for that because I've had a contract with them for like 5 or 7 years now. I just haven't had the time to write the book, but he's great.
You haven't had
he's
the time
good-
to write the book?
Nope. I've written.
ChatGPT.
Well, now, yeah. Now I do.
So now it's easy.
Well, as soon as I'm done with Jonesy here.
You know, every book starts out, right? Wait.
Call me Ishmael?
No. It starts out with, I hope this book receives you
I hope
well.
this finds you well, yeah. Unlock your reading potential.
Yeah, right. It's so funny when you go on ChatGPT, they say says the same thing over and over again, and then you start getting emails from people. I hope this email receives you well. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even know to take that line. Just take that line out so people don't know it's ChatGPT.
Rob Anspach, he's a well-known podcaster. Has done a long series of marketing podcasts and interviews, and he's a very sarcastic individual. So if you haven't gotten your
More sarcastic than me?
yeah, probably. At least he claims to be. We'll see who's the winner.
Well, you'll have to put us on.
I know
on
you're very competitive,
I was
Larry.
going to say, we'll have to put us on stage and see who can out sarcasm the other one.
It's probably going to end up being Frank. Low key and quiet sarcasm.
Now, Frank's got the Stephen Wright kind of
Yeah, dry chasm.
personality.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for
if
that.
you're looking for nice guy, you can go see Frank, and if you're looking for sarcastic people, you can go see Larry and Rob. Let's see who else I got over there. Thomas Bell. Thomas Bell has been around for a long time in
He
the
sure has.
industry. Can you tell us about Thomas Bell?
Well, he's a copywriter extraordinaire.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Really?
Good man.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Among other things.
All right, do we have anybody else?
I don't know. Scroll down, you may.
Oh,
Holy
there's more
we
people.
They keep
do.
coming.
Dr. Lynn Schwartz. Can you read that, Larry?
Yeah, you kidding me? I can't read that. I can't read that if it was in front of me.
Dr. Lynn has been around for a long time. First-class marketer, and you definitely want to connect with Dr. Schwartz there. He will be spending time with you, and I'm sure that if you have questions to ask, he's going to be able to answer them. Tom Scott is going to be there. I've known him for many years. He teaches marketing at the college level and consults with some of the top corporate companies in the country. So you definitely want to connect with And David D. Simmons. David has been coming to some of my events ever since I was doing the Impact Livecast.
He's a nice
events
guy,
he
too.
did. Really nice guy.
He's like really polite, and
And
he's too nice and too polite.
I don't know. Maybe he's getting less polite as it gets along.
He starts hanging around me.
He's getting
that might
grouchier
happen.
as he gets older.
He's also teaching at the college level now too.
Wow.
Really?
Very
All
cool.
kinds of
Oh, boy.
stuff. So we've got a lot of expertise coming in the door. So if you want to come, that.
I think that's it. Oh, Fred
No.
Pacimo. We got to talk about Fred.
Fred. So our event is being emceed by the make money and have fun guy, Fred Pacimo. Fred used to work with Investor Schooling, and he's an amazing, dynamic young man, and he'll keep you hopping.
He's the perfect MC. He's got a good voice, and you get attached.
He'll get a lot of energy for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
So, and once again, I'm disappointed that our guest didn't show up. It's really disappointing. I don't understand what we're supposed to do here. So,
Well-
we've had the most boring show we've ever had because of this. I appreciate you plugging your thing. That's awesome.
It's okay.
So at least tell people more about it so we, because nobody's watching anyway. We got no viewers. We got no comments. So you might as well just talk to each other.
Who should be there, Ken? What kind of people should be there?
You know, I think anybody that has an idea, product, or service that they want to take to millions of people instead of just thousands, we give them the tools to do that. So if you want to start a business, and of course, if you want to start a business, you gotta figure out how to have that business really make money, because we all have to support ourselves. If you aren't breathing, you aren't making an impact in the first place. So I think anybody, authors, entrepreneurs, artists of any kind, people who have business ideas or software plans or any kind of a project that you can possibly imagine. Corporate leaders, nonprofit leaders, anybody that wants to make a difference in the world.
So I don't have to be an expert to come here. I could just have an idea on paper or something that I'm incubating, and I'm still going to get value from this?
You know, I always, people are afraid to go up to these experts that have all these multi-million-dollar businesses and stuff like that. And the truth is we all start somewhere, and we all have something to contribute. And if you're going to start at the bottom, you might as well do it with the best people in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because Larry talks sometimes about, you become the five people closest to you.
Wait a minute. You know what? I just realized something, Ken.
Yeah, don't talk about weight.
Well, besides that, yeah, we got that big problem. So we're doing our radio show. Debbie and I are going to do the radio show from Philadelphia on Saturday.
Yeah,
and the show is at 2:00.
Yeah, I know.
So we're gonna actually leave your event, do the radio show, and then come back to the event, and I'm going to be speaking.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, that's dedication for you. You show up.
Well, of course I'm certainly going to show up when I'm supposed to speak. Not like some people who were supposed to be on the show today that didn't show up.
Hey.
And by the way, just so you guys know, by the way, Ryan Lear says hi. He's watching the show.
How about that? Hi, Ryan.
He might not be watching it anymore, but he was watching it when he said hello.
We had him for a few minutes anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Larry?
And everybody go, "What's this show about? Isn't this the show where they roast people?" And they're like, "No, I guess not, because nobody's doing anything."
Could have been technology, could have been time zone, could have been honest mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's right.
I don't believe in honest mistakes.
I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt.
They could have been abducted by aliens.
That's right.
Could have gone out to get their mail and got hit in the head with a rogue Chinese satellite.
So from now on, we're going to have a backup, right?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to have a backup. So by the way, if you guys want to be on this, how do they get to be on the show? And
Let's talk a little bit about the format of the show. So basically what we do is we put projects on the hot seat, and you'll be given about 5 to 10 minutes to describe what your project and what your questions are, and then you'll get input from the panel, and we hope to be able to give you ways that you can achieve your dreams and achieve your goals with your business or your idea or your project. So anybody can do it. It can be a project at any level. It doesn't have to be rocket science. We've had some pretty incredible projects that have already been put on the hot seat, and we've got all kinds of variety. So it doesn't have to come from a particular industry. We've got tons and tons of expertise here. So the thing that I would tell you is just contact one of the panelists or myself and give us a little description, like a one-page kind of a thing, a couple paragraphs on what your project is, and a few questions that you would really like to have the panel help you with. What are the things that you're struggling with? What are the things that you hope to achieve, and how can you achieve them? Or
really
maybe
easy.
even what the question should be.
It's really easy. You're going to come on the show. We're going to give you free advice from 4 people who are brilliant.
Some more than others.
Thanks, Frank. And we're going to give you good advice. Now, this happens to be our 3rd show, and the guy didn't show up. But we had 2 shows. The first one, the guy took massive action after our show, and he actually closed like $10,000 to $15,000 worth of business off of the advice we gave him. The second guy complained and cried, and then a day later watched the show again and said, "You know what? You guys actually had really good advice." The problem was he got put off by by the advice. He was concerned about how brutal we were. Maybe me, and then
No, maybe.
maybe me,
maybe.
and then he
No,
actually
maybe.
came back to us and said, "You know what? That was actually really good advice," and I actually started taking it. So if you want to be on this show, all you have to do is just reach out to us, and we will let you be on the show. You can talk about your project, you can talk about your business, and how we can get more business. Because you know what? We showed up here today for someone who didn't show up. So next time, if you want to be on the show, let us know. Just reach out.
Anything that you want to add before we close out this session in terms of what people should be looking for, what people should be doing, how you can take advantage of this opportunity to be on the hot seat?
I would say come with an open mind and check your ego at the door, because it's very easy to be self-protective of your own projects. We want to think that we know what we're doing. We want to think that what we've created is of value. But there's, between the two of us, Ken, there's 50-something years worth of marketing experience right there.
Yeah.
Never mind these two
And then add
whippersnappers.
Larry
Yeah, mine's at
Steinhouse
least
there.
1 month.
There's
Thanks,
100
Frank.
years in there.
I was saying,
How old are you, Dan?
I'll be 40 this year.
You'll be 40. So just so like I've been in business longer than you've been alive.
it's over 100 years then of
Yeah,
marketing
it's over 100
experience.
years.
Yeah, I guess
Right?
so,
I mean, Ken's been marketing when I was in high school.
So that's
You're
so
absolutely
what we're saying here, guys, is this is a pretty good deal. And the consulting like this, Larry, what if somebody had to pay for this? I imagine something like this would be easily $1,000 an hour.
An
Easily.
hour. For
Easily.
this show, I would say more. You know, like
Well, for
on
people.
Shark Tank. You ever watch Shark Tank?
Oh yeah,
Like when they bid on a guy's business.
yeah.
So I actually had a business that came close to getting on Shark Tank at one point, and I read the rules. So the rules are this: the rules are, first of all, if they buy your business, they buy your business. You know, whatever percentage they give you. But even if they don't buy it, they now get 2% of your revenue for the next 5 years just to have you on the show.
Oh my gosh.
That
We
doesn't
should
sound
start
like a bad
doing
deal.
that.
I mean,
Let's
you're
do
No, it's
one
actually not a
percent.
bad deal. You're right.
Exposure, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
exposure, right?
I'll take that.
Let's do 1%. Maybe
I know, that's-
yeah,
I know.
1.5. We'll give them a discount.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're not the Shark Tank. We're the fishbowl.
Number 2, and we try harder. But seriously,
I like that, the fishbowl. We definitely have to use that. That's great.
it's over 100 years marketing experience in here, and you're getting it for free. I mean, show up, participate, listen to it afterwards. And again, I know it's the hardest thing ever, but to check your ego at the door, because nobody's here to attack you or embarrass you. We're here because we care. You know, I drive an hour and 15 minutes each way and leave my own business just to do this, to help other people, and I'm happy to do it. So that alone, you know, take a half a day a week to give free advice to people. That doesn't make me a hero. It just makes me somebody that cares about other people. And you guys too. You're all busy. There's other
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
you could be doing. So the thing is, come with an open mind. Come with some questions. You know, you got that 5 or 10 minutes to make your pitch. Tell us what you really need. I would say too, Ken, think about what you really need, because you have that 5 or 10 minutes. The whole hour is not just listening to somebody present to us what their business is. It's us giving honest and actionable feedback.
Obviously, the key is if you're talking, you're not learning anything. So if you already know about your business, you can always throw away the advice that we have if you don't like our $1 million advice. But if you show up and you listen, you can always learn something. I guarantee you can learn something from anybody. And probably. I mean, I was just thinking about the 100+ years worth of marketing experience. Can you imagine how many years of experience are at the Impact event this
Oh,
weekend?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like,
So plug it again, Ken. I don't think you plugged it enough.
no, I've just.
No, I'm kidding. You really should. You should plug it again. You should plug it
No,
again.
I listen. Here's the reason it means so much to me. I wouldn't have done this all these years. It's a lot of work. It's I feel like a beggar when I do these things. I feel like I'm going out and I'm knocking on everybody's door and I'm saying, please, please, please come to this event, because that's the way that you have to get people in. You have to invite them all individually. I'm inviting you individually to come to this right now. it's a lot of work to put them on. Why do I do it? The only reason that I do it is because there's so much impact out of the impact events. I mean, that's why they're called the impact events. They started out as JV Alert, and we were talking about joint ventures and all those kinds of things, but we morphed into the impact event because I saw how one person impacts another, impacts another, impacts another, impacts another, and just goes on and on and on. And this is a 20-year history, a family of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have been impacted by these live events. It doesn't, it's not hard to show up. You know, it's hard just to make the decision, to make the choice. You make the choice to be there, just like that guy that was, you know, camped out on the yard for a couple of nights.
I give that guy props, man.
Yeah, really.
He came and camped out on the lawn just to be there.
He did, just to be
He's
there.
much better than the person that didn't show up today.
And
Hey, I told you guys the story of my first event in Washington, D.C. I had this was probably this was the first live event I ever went to. It would have been about 1994 or 1995. I had just enough money to put gas in my pickup truck back then with those gas prices to go from metropolitan New York down to D.C. for the day. Everybody else went out to restaurants for lunch. I went to 7-Eleven and drove back. And you know what? That event, combined with a few others, has made me millions of dollars in sales over the years.
Yeah.
So don't underestimate the power of a live event. Webinars are great. We do them. We love them. I'm doing one on Wednesday for my other business. But there's something about being there in the audience with an open mind and just absorbing and processing. And you don't know who you're going to meet. You put people in a room and it all just comes together somehow.
that was always one of the astounding things to me about an event. You can go to an event and you can sit down between two people. You can look to your right and look to your left and say, that person over there is doing all this business and they're no smarter or richer than I am, and yet they're having all of this success.
Yep.
Why can't I do this too? And the answer
And
is
you
you
can.
can.
Yeah, absolutely you can. That's the funny part. Is people just don't realize that you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do, you can do.
You don't have to be the most brilliant person in the room, but it sure helps if you hang around
Look at
with
this room.
brilliant people. So,
I always try to be the dumbest person in the room.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
I see nobody's stepping up to say, no, you're not.
I just said, but you stepped on your own line. I was going to defend you.
We already have. I mean, I have 20-something years on you.
How much ego is there in this room?
That's why I sit over here.
I
sit on this side
It's
because
3-1.
because I need a lot of room for my ego.
I guarantee you that Dan Tbone Jones knows a heck of a lot about a heck of a lot of
my
things
goodness.
that I don't know about.
Yeah.
So
So I
there you
picked
go.
them to work with.
And that's why it works. We cross-pollinate.
So do me a favor while we got you here. What the hell is conversion? What the hell is it?
Call conversion therapy one more time.
Conversion. I was going to say conversion conspiracy. What is it?
That's this week's version.
Conversion chemistry.
Yeah, that thing.
Conversion chemistry is Frank and myself, Frank and me, Frank and I.
Whatever.
It's our online.
There you go. That's the word you're looking for. R.
You see, you don't need to be bright.
No, I need to watch that copywriter guy that's going to be at the
Yeah, exactly.
at the Impact event. It's our online marketing academy for entrepreneurs. So really what we have is a series, our first product is a series of digital classes that the entrepreneur watches to turn their side hustle into a profitable business, which was both of our journey.
Cool.
Is going from side hustle to legitimate
Yeah,
profitable
right.
businesses. We don't even throw numbers like, 10x your business. Well, because if you're starting at 0, 10x 0 is still 0. So if you already have a business and you want to expand your product line, we'll 5x or 10x you. If you have nothing, we're going to get you that first sale. And then phase 2 is 5x, 10x.
So you're going to give him one sale, then you get him 5 sales, then you get him 10 sales.
Right. And then rinse and repeat.
Yeah, the first sale is always the hardest to make,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I have to say you're absolutely correct. In fact, it's funny. I always say that investor schooling all happened because of one sale I made, one online sale, and it was the craziest thing. I was doing just the stock options part, and I was selling, a digital course, and I charged $2,000 for it at the time. Whatever, it was just a bunch of videos, and I gave a bunch of coaching, whatever, blah blah blah, and I had 40 people on a webinar. And, this is all because of Ken, because this is how Ken told me to do it. I had 40 people on the webinar now, and even Ken says, like, wow, you got 40 people on the webinar. That's pretty good. For a first time, that's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And at the end, I did my pitch, blah, blah, blah. And I was waiting for the ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. And, of course, I got, mostly, And I finally looked up, and I actually saw one come through. And I was like, wow, this is wild. Somebody actually bought this. And the weirdest part was I emailed the guy, I called the guy, I texted the guy, and he paid $2,000 for that. Never spoke to him. I don't even know who his name was. And it was the weirdest thing. But I actually thank him all the time, because if he didn't buy that, that gave me the courage to do the next one and the courage to open investor schooling and continue.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, I would have said, this is ridiculous. Why would anybody want to do this?
Here's another opportunity for people. If you just can't wait any longer, I know something that you can go to on Thursday night, and you can get in there for free too.
Investor schooling.
Yes.
So go to investorschooling.com. And look, you can meet me, and we can have some fun.
And then we can all convince you to go to the Impact.
Right.
If you come Thursday, you're
everything,
staying till Sunday, is what you're saying.
Right. Every one of the classes that we have is just entertaining.
Yeah.
It's a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun, and you learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever I look in the back, and Ken's doing some recording for us, I look in the back. If I make Ken laugh, that means I did a good job.
I'm his barometer.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what
So-
else we got? Frank, what are you working on that you want to talk about?
Conversion chemistry. Love it.
Chemistry, or is it therapy?
Well, I've had conversion therapy, but that's
For
not
you,
what-
it would be therapy.
Well, for me, I need a lot of therapy. Yeah, I know.
No, love it. Jonesy said it all. It's a it's an entrepreneur's journey from, okay, I have a product or service, or I have an idea for a product or service. How do you take that? How do you brand yourself? How do you do a competitive analysis in the marketplace? What do you really need to get set up to get online? Do you need all these bells and whistles, or do you just need the basics? And we take you from that up through your first sale and beyond. And it really is for anybody new.
Cool.
You're brand new, you don't know what you're doing, that's great. And if you're already experienced, this stuff is going to help make sure that you don't make any mistakes, because a lot of times people hit a growth, you get to a certain plateau and you get stuck, and to break through that next level, there's some good stuff in here for that. And it's an evolving, ongoing membership site as well.
Right, because our first product is for the entrepreneur, but the other use case is for people who are established in business who want to get unstuck, scale. And then it's all of all the swipe files, the blueprints, the templates, everything that we've created over the past 26 years. 26? Is that your number right now? 26 years?
Yep.
So
Putting it all out there.
Jones, you did it when you
Use
were
our success
14?
story. Yes, I actually did. I was hand coding HTML when I was 14.
were you really?
There
Yeah,
you go,
as
yeah.
what? A hobby. It was not a
That's
business
pretty
at
wild.
that
That's
point.
pretty wild. Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty wild. I actually believe you, but I just wanted to mess with you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a strange hobby. Lee Benson, I don't know if you know him
Yeah,
from
I
England.
remember Lee.
One of my best friends in the world. He used to do that too. He would hand code. He would hand code as a hobby, just something fun to do. And I'm like, you need to see a doctor about that, man.
Yeah, I used to take code apart and try to figure out what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I change this word, what happens? If I change that, what happens? And it worked.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking we're all plugging each other's websites and platforms and stuff. Should we bring back the web ring? Remember like GeoCities and try out the web ring? Like,
There
hey,
you
join
go.
our web ring. Click here for the next. Back when the web was like the wild, wild west,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like actual websites were destinations before social media.
You don't
And-
even
and bring
you
back
don't
the
even
web ring.
remember the Wild Wild West.
Oh God, Ken, I tell you, the stories we could tell.
Ken,
Those were the good old days.
Ken was around before there were fax machines.
I was.
Actually, I was around before there was fax machines. too. I
Ken
mean,
rode up to the first impact event on his dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty close. I started with punch cards. Let me
Really?
put that.
Yeah.
First programs I did were on punch
That's
cards.
funny.
So there you go.
Very good.
Good thing is these events that we're putting on now. This is today's. It's a perfect blend of today's what you need to know now with the
Yeah.
time-tested, proven stuff, like good factual copywriting with you get benefit now type of stuff. I mean, Armin's been writing software. Geez, I spoke at a big seminar too, and that was like that was 2002 or 3.
Yeah.
He was around before that. He's been around as long as we have.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, guys. If you come to this, you're getting today's not everything new is great. You don't have to do everything that's brand new. New is not bad or good. It's inert. Same thing with the old stuff. Some of the best copywriting out there was written 50, 70, 100 years ago, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, they think of it how kind of conversion chemistry was sparked to be. And two examples of speakers from the Impact event was Armand, right? He teaches AI, and he has this project, Goody AI, and Tracy Repchuk, who now is basically coaching the coaches to make their online courses, right? And Frank, you had already made a series of online courses in the past.
Yes.
And I'm taking inspiration from Armand. I'm not gonna write AI software. That's not my skill set, and that's not what I want to do. But I had the inspiration, like, well, why don't I just teach people this instead of having them pay me to do it, which is what my agency is for.
Mm-hmm.
I'll teach people how to do it. And then Frank and I
Right.
combined and said, well, let's do this, because you've done the coaching, you've done the course creation.
Oh, yeah.
I had the tech stack and the inspiration from the speakers. So it's like, even if you want to do something similar to the other speakers, I'm not going to go say rip them off, but divine inspiration and make it your own thing. Any of us who have the true abundance mindset knows that there's plenty out for us to grab, and we can take bits and pieces off of each other to create something new for a new audience. And that's what
Absolutely.
conversion chemistry became.
All right, I think the number one thing that you guys should learn from today is show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're watching
Yeah.
this and you don't show up, because we made a very boring show today, and I have to admit it was very boring. I mean, we did cover some things, but it was very
There's a few
boring.
high spots.
And it would have, and we just went on the air because we're supposed to, and it really bothers me that these people ruined the show for us. So they are not allowed to be on the show ever again. Actually, they could pay $10,000 to be on the show now. That's the fee. But if you guys want to be on the show, we would love to have you on the show. A couple other things that you want to do is create impact now. Go to Ken's event this weekend. Great event. I'm telling you right now. And Dan and Frank are going to buy your tickets. So reach out to Dan and Frank. They'll buy your tickets. I will charge you double because I'm a capitalist and that's what I do. And what else?
I just want to thank everybody that did show up. So Dan and Frank and Larry for showing up and being here. And also for anybody that's out there listening today, we really do want to impact your life. I think that's the one common thread that runs through all of us. We have different personality styles. We have different knowledge bases. We got all kinds of differences going on, but there's way too many differences in the world. And when we come together, we can do so much more than we ever could apart. So when we come together with different ideas at the Impact event or in this forum, and we share those, we do that to lift you up and to help you achieve your dreams. If we can do that in any way, if we can help you in any way, you just heard lots and lots and lots of opportunities. If the Impact event isn't for you, go to investor schooling, learn about investing, or pick up conversion chemistry, or just come and meet some really, really incredible people, because it will change your life, literally. That's why I do it, because I've seen the impact over and over and over again. And if you want to be on next week's show, then definitely let us know. You could be a backup. We have somebody already booked, but we're looking for backups now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we don't have any no-shows. And I really look forward to putting your project on the hot seat, and we hope that you will come and share some time with us.
All right. With that, we should play Ken's theme music that he hasn't written yet. So we'll just say goodbye.